everyone, and welcome to TLDR Psychology. Today, I'd like to talk to you about a very 2020 phenomenon called doomscrolling. And if you don't know what doomscrolling is, it's essentially, it might be something that you're already doing without knowing it. When you pick up your phone, oftentimes at night when you should be sleeping, and instead of sleeping, you are scrolling through your social media feeds or news sites, just reading piece after piece of very concerning content about just the unrest in the country, about things your least favorite politician has done, whoever that may be, about the pandemic, and just really just assaulting yourself with all of this really negative information. And this does two things. One is ruin your ability to sleep, both because you're reading instead of sleeping, and then also because you're getting yourself really worked up and anxious, which not only stops you from sleeping, but also then can carry over into other parts of your life where you're just feeling more and more anxious. So if you're doom scrolling, the question becomes, what can you do about it? And the first answer to that is stop. Just stop. Put down your phone. But part of what makes it so difficult is that it's hard for some people to do it, or it feels like you keep getting drawn back to it, even though you know it's probably not good for you. Where that comes from is that we have a desire to try to control the uncontrollable. And sometimes we do that by feeling like the more either we fixate on something, the more we perseverate on it, or the more information that we have on it, the more control we have over that situation. Kind of like if we're prepared, we're going to be better off than if we hadn't taken the time to plan. The issue, of course, is that for most people, if you're just compulsively reading all of this really negative news, you're not actually getting yourself any more prepared for any of these things. You're basically just kneecapping your ability to have sound mental health, both because of your sleep and because you're just constantly firing up your anxiety. So what can you do if you or someone you know is engaging in this behavior? Well, the most important thing to do is stop somehow, right? Because there's probably an upper bound on how useful this information is to your life. Like maybe give yourself 15 minutes, 20 minutes to read the news a day and then put the kibosh on it. That's it. Now, if you're setting a limit, or even less, but if you're setting that limit and you're finding that you're not keeping to it, then the next step is to really try to be mindful of what you're doing. Maybe start a meditation practice, maybe set an alarm, but do have some both internal ways of monitoring yourself as well as external reminders like those alarms, or say a partner who bugs you about it if they see you doing it, to just help tear you away. Because particularly now more than ever, when we know there's a secondary pandemic going on right now with mental health and with addiction, actually, people are coping with this on the whole very poorly. It's so important that we pay attention to our mental health by getting our sleep and by not doing things that actually make it worse if we can control that. So hopefully this has been helpful to you. Hopefully if you are doom scrolling, you can take some steps to curtail that a little bit. Thanks for joining me this week, and I'll look forward to talking to you again soon.